I using my potential to its fullest? Am I living my dream? And it happened to me. And for years and years upon years, I sat in my room and I didn't know what to do with my life. And I thought I did, and I lied to myself and said that I was, that I was doing the right thing, and I wasn't. I really wasn't happy with what I was doing, and I knew it. And you can't lie to yourself. And so what I did was I said, I'm going to make this list of things that I want to do before I die. The things that I know that I was put on this earth to do. Because, maybe I won't get the profession that I want to do, but at least I'll know that I try to accomplish all these things on this list. And every year I seem to take something off, and every year I put something on. And every year I put something that's more and more challenging on there. Things that I don't even think that I have the ability to do anymore. But I want to see if I can accomplish them. And so like last year, one of my things on there was to do the running of the bulls, and I'm not a very, I don't come from money. I come from a very lower middle class suburb. I don't have any savings account. I don't have any, I don't have a trust fund or anything. The money that I did have was used to go bail my father out of prison, and so I never got that back. And how do you do that? How do you get over there to do this thing that you've always wanted to do? So I wrote this little book, and it's my first book called On the Upswing of Life, Love, and Regret, and I made a little bit of money on it. And I had $1,405 in my bank account, and I went and I bought a ticket to Europe for $1,400, and I went by myself. And people said, how are you going to get around? I said, I don't know. What are you going to say? I don't know. And I didn't. And I stayed on, I slept in parks in Spain, and what's funny is that when I bought this ticket, and I was so happy for myself, I was so proud of myself that I actually did this, and I was throwing myself in the deep end, but I wasn't gonna, and somebody at work actually said to me, I think it's completely irresponsible what you're doing. I think that what you need to do is you need to be paying your bills, you need to be paying all this stuff, you don't need to be going off, you're not teenager Chris anymore, you need to go out and you need to be responsible, you need to be an adult. And you know what, a year later, I have an awesome story that's in my book about me doing the running of the bulls, and guess what? We're still on good terms with the electric company. The electric's still on, the gas is still on, the rent may have been a little late, but you know what? It got paid. I still have an apartment, and I would never sacrifice those experiences, and to be able to taste different things in different cultures, and to see things, and to immerse myself in different cultures, and go to museums all by myself. And I did this all by myself because I wanted it badly enough. And so one of those things that I put on there, one of the first things I put on my list of things to do before I die was to confront my father. Okay. Now, as you may have kind of picked up, my father and I were never on the greatest of terms. When our family kind of split up, I hated him. I hated him for being an alcoholic. And again, I'm not here to bum you out. It's not I don't want you guys to leave with the wrong taste in your mouth and think that, oh man, I can't believe that you just totally bummed me out. But I need to give you a little backstory. He was a huge addict. He was an alcoholic, and he was a cocaine addict, and he loved hookers too much. And what would happen was he would take my mom's check to go cash it and disappear for 2 weeks and come back with no money and had to spend it on hookers and coke, and then he would be totally drunk all the time and crash the car into the garage. And when you're a little kid and you want to have a sleepover and you invite all your friends over and you're like, yeah, come over, we're going to rent movies, we're going to rent scary movies and try to watch the scrambled porn and make microwave popcorn and prank call boys. Remember when you used to be able to prank call people? Anyways. And we would do these things and we would call boys and we'd be like, ah! Not boys, I mean girls. Wrong crowd. Wrong crowd. Anyways, but you know what I'm talking about, and you would call them and you'd be like, hey, and you hang up the phone and everything, be like, so-and-so likes you, and hang up the phone. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to have all my friends over. And every day when I would walk in with my friends, and I'd walk in the door and I'd say to myself, please let my father not be drunk. And I would walk in, and he would be laying there on the couch, passed out in his own urine. Or I'd walk in sometimes for dinner, and he was passed out in his own vomit in the middle of the kitchen floor. And this was the man that I looked up to, that I saw as my hero. This is somebody, you growing up, you see your parents as larger than life. You see them as symbols of God. Your teacher tells you something and you don't believe it. You go, Mom, is this true? My teacher told me. Because you look to them for answers. You look to them for guidance. And you see them as these larger than life heroes. You shouldn't have to look at your parents and see them in their own urine or in their own vomit. And what happens is that's what I had to deal with growing up, and it really bothered me and it hurt me, and so I wrote a story about it. And I hated it. I hated it.